Dr. Ivo Robotnick, otherwise known as the Eggman, probably one of the best cartoon villains, except if you count the 2010s version of him. I've always seen him as a bit of a strange character. Despite all of his capabilities, he's quite underused, being almost next to Sally in terms of usage, and even just a little bit more than Rouge, which is really weird to me. So this video is going to be dedicated to me and all the other Eggman mains out there that want their recognition, to show that their character is actually good and more people should be playing him. So without further ado, let's get into it. This is why I personally enjoy playing Eggman and main him. So I decided to look for videos featuring Eggman in sonic.exe The Disaster on YouTube, and what I found was quite weird, in that I found almost nothing. So anybody else find it kinda weird that there is a lack of content relating to Eggman in sonic.exe The Disaster on YouTube? Almost none of the YouTubers I watch that play this game actually play him for a considerable amount of time. Lucky Doggo, Illogical Interest, Songs VA, Uvenus, Dream Shakes, and even Koikia. Nobody really plays him too much for too long, and it's kinda sad just because of how cool and fun he can be. But if I had to guess why nobody really plays him for that long, it has to be the fact that everybody sees him as very simple, or everybody sees him as not very good because he has the biggest hitbox. So I'm here to discredit both of those. For one, he is not very simple, he just has simple abilities, but the strategies you can use with him are usually very complex if you want to hit an EXE that, understands the basics of the game, because any EXE that does understand the basics of the game ain't gonna fall for you by beelining straight towards you. And his hitbox isn't as big as an issue as you think it would be. I'm not saying his hitbox ain't a bad thing, but it's definitely made out by some people to be this absolutely game-changing mechanic, and it really just ain't. And let's be honest, it's really satisfying for the EXE to continuously miss hitting you, get upset, you shock them, and then run away, and then they get even more angry. But this video isn't really a video meant for defending him. This video is meant for me to describe why I like him, so I might as well get into that now. So let's start off with the basics, shall we? Eggman has the biggest hitbox of any character, his shock cooldown is 28, and his jetpack boost cooldown is 34. This means that most of the time you're going to be using him is going to be for last resort type situations, since his character is meant to be midlines. He isn't meant to be in the back, and he isn't really meant to be in the front. He's meant for cleaning up messes in case somebody makes a mistake. And this is why he's so useful, because he can pretty much be the cleanup crew if something goes wrong, like the Sonic jumps over, or dodges a tackle, or somehow dodges an arm cannon, things like that. And the thing is that the shock, while it can be evaded, cannot be dodged, which is what makes it such a powerful tool. But most importantly, one of the things I love about playing Eggman is the sense of control. When you play this character, all eyes are either going to be on you, or the Sonic is going to get stunned. That's one of the reasons why I love playing Eggman, is because he has that sense of control that no other character does. He can force the Sonic into situations he may find not particularly great. And no other character can really do that besides Tails, and really, all Tails can do is make the EXE zigzag around a bunch, but he can't really force him away from a body, or a spring, or a teammate, anything like that. Now let's talk a little bit more about shock, because it's actually a really powerful tool if that wasn't already obvious, which is one other reason why I love playing him. But the thing is that unlike other abilities in the game, with shock, because it is undodgeable, this technically means that all you have to do is just run around a bunch, evading the EXE's attacks, and then once the ability is ready, you can turn around and hit them. It's almost impossible for any EXE to react quickly enough if they are standing on top of you, sprinting around in circles trying to kill you. I've never had a moment when EXE actually got out of the way unless they were already out of the way in the first place. And usually, if you play your cards right and stay safe, you can usually be the saving grace for your team, because you get to decide what happens when you have shock ready. Will the EXE get hit, or will the EXE jump around and continue to hurt your teammates? But it's all about timing. If you don't have timing down, then you're pretty much screwed. But enough of that. Let's get into the main reason why I love playing Eggman the most. You see, the main reason why I love playing Eggman the most compared to other characters is simply because his abilities work in the sense of he is the most map dependent, and the most teammate dependent, and the most sonic intelligent level dependent of every character in the game. And that's what makes him so fun, because it isn't just like with Knuckles, where you jump around a bunch and hit. No, you have to think about whether or not you want to use your abilities to correlate, or if you want to use your abilities to defend a teammate or yourself, or if you want to use both of your abilities at once, or if you want to use only one of your abilities then another ability later. Usually with characters like Rouge, it's just you use one ability if you're in danger, and all the other abilities you wait until afterwards. And with characters like Tails, you only use them when you actually have them. And with Knuckles, you have to use them when you're in danger, otherwise it's kind of pointless to play him in the first place. But with Eggman, there's always the opportunity to wonder on whether or not waiting is the best idea, whether or not attacking now is the best idea, whether or not you should just go for it. And another thing that makes him fun is how well his abilities correlate with each other, with the only other characters having very correlatable abilities being Shadow, because he can use both his abilities to gain extra distance or get to places he couldn't just by using Dash. But yeah, that's pretty much it. The reason why I love playing Eggman so much is because despite being incredibly simple, he can use both his abilities to correlate very well, depending on map knowledge and the intelligence of the EXE, and no other character can really do it as good as him. Thank you so much for getting this far if you did. I really appreciate it, and as a token of my appreciation, I will tell you what my next analysis video will be about. It will be about TF2 modded servers on Xbox. But anyways, I hope to see you in the next video.